Okay, starting lesson 8.3, solving quadratic equations using square roots. All right, now it is easy to tell what values of x will satisfy the equation x squared equals 16 simply by looking at it. What numbers can you plug in here such that the result will be 16? Well, you could plug in 4, but you could also plug in negative 4. So both 4 and negative 4 are solutions to the equation. In this lesson, we will learn how to solve equations such as x squared equals 16 mathematically. Now, when taking the square root of a square number, you are left with the number. So, for example, x squared is equal to what? It's equal to 10 squared. So if I take the square root of both sides, I end up with 10. Now, I know that x can also equal negative 10. So whenever you introduce a square root into the problem, include both the positive and the negative case. All right, so there's our answer there. All right, sometimes the number that you're taking the square root of, all right, it cannot be rewritten as a square. So we apply the prime factor tree. 2 times 7. There are no pairs, so your answer simply is positive negative square root of 14. All right, for the next one, divide by 7. X squared is equal to 3. Take the square root of both sides, include the positive and the negative case, and your answer just is positive negative square root of 3. Okay, next one. Same deal, take the square root of both sides, positive, negative. So I have 2 times 30 here. Then I have 2 times 15. Then I have 3 times 5. I have a pair of 2's, so you pull out the 2, and I'm left with 3 and 5. That's left inside, I multiply them, 15. Don't forget the positive and the negative. So it's x equals positive and negative 2 square root of 15. Next one, I'll divide by negative 6. X squared equals negative 4. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And you cannot take the square root of a negative number, so your answer is no real solution. Next one, divide by 3. X squared is equal to 16. Take the square root of both sides. I have x is equal to positive and negative 4. Done. All right, now increasing the complexity of the equations. It's not that much more difficult though, it's just a couple extra steps. All right, so first thing we have to do is isolate the term with the variable that's squared. All right, now I divide by 5. So I get x squared is equal to 3. All right, now to get x by itself, I have to take the square root of both sides. Don't forget the positive and the negative. I get x is equal to positive negative square root of 3. Next one, I'll add 64. I get 4x squared is equal to 64. Divide by 4, and x squared is equal to 16. So I take the square root of both sides, positive and negative. X is equal to positive negative 4. All right, next one. Subtract 40. I get 2x squared is equal to negative 40. Divide by 2. X squared is equal to negative 20. Take the square root of both sides, positive negative. You cannot take the square root of a negative number, so there is no real solution. All right, for the next problems, notice that this whole quantity here is squared. All right, this quantity here is squared. I just had to redo this because something messed up with my recording. Anyways, so I have to take the square root of both sides to get rid of that square. Don't forget the positive and the negative. So I get x minus 2 is equal to positive negative 3. Then I add 2, and x is equal to 2 plus minus 3. All right, now I have two cases. I have 2 plus 3, which is 5, and I have 2 minus 3, which is negative 1. Done. All right, for the next one, I have to take the square root of both sides, positive, negative. I have x minus 1 is equal to positive, negative 9. All right, then I add 1, and I get x is equal to 1 plus minus 9, and x is equal to 10. And then 1 minus 9, that's negative 8. Done. All right, for the next one, take the square root of both sides, positive and negative. I get x minus 3 is equal to positive, negative square root of 12. All right, so I add 3, and x is equal to 3 plus minus square root of 12. All right, now square root of 12, I could break that down into 2 times 6, 2 times 3, and I could simplify it, so I get x is equal to 3 plus minus 2 square root of 3. Now make sure that you don't add these two, okay? These are unlike terms. So this is your final answer. Done. All right, begin the assignment at the bottom of the page. If you have any questions, make sure to ask.